Cool. Right. So what I was saying about being strongly typed is when I create a meeting, I'd create a schema, and it automatically creates this strong type for me, which tells me exactly what I need to pass inside the schema to create an object. I think include external groups, exclude external members. Yeah, so I think I just need to do a similar thing for meetings. So the data here is, and yeah, as you can see, when I put an illegal import, it just says, no, you can't do that. And this include should include a meeting has include participants true. Okay, so a meeting has, right, so member list would be a list of member IDs. And how do I do that? Org ID, have I done that anywhere? Include external groups. Connect. Okay, so participants is connect. Participants. Connect. How do I put an array of them? Set external group. Oh, set. Okay, there we go. Participants set. And then I want to pass an array. Member list. Does that work? Yes, I believe it does. Why do you have a problem with this? Set number is not. What have I done here? Set external group values. It's exactly what it says. Oh, let's try doing the other syntax. Doesn't help at all. Oh, I see. It needs to be mapped to ID. Okay, so I can just copy this. Dot map m for member. And then I can actually just do return ID colon. I see, that's why I did that. Okay, that should definitely have worked. Why didn't it? Set ID number is not assignable to external member created list. Okay. Fine. So I need to figure out why it's not letting me set participants by giving a list of members. It's probably something I did wrong in the schema. So let me look at the schema. The schema for meetings has a list of participants, which is external member references ID. But let me see how I did it in the case of what was set external group IDs group include external groups. That's the example group from. Include external groups. They just named the relation. Okay, so let me just try doing that. And I'll say, what did they do? They just name the relation like that instead of naming the field. I don't think I need to do that. I can just name it. Meeting participants. And inside the external member, I do the same thing. Just name it. Meeting participants. Okay, now that we did that, there's like a Prisma migrate command. So docker compose stack, yeah, I'm logging into the container. Otherwise, like the database URL and stuff doesn't work. Yeah, npx prisma migrate dev, update meeting object. update meeting participants. That worked. Should. Okay, it creates a new migration file for me. Just because I'm curious, I'm going to take a look and see what's inside it. Is this it? I hate when it does that. A moment. Go here and check it out. Prisma migrations. This is the new one. Alter table. Okay, it's changing the foreign keys and not making them unique anymore. External member to meeting. Okay. Create table. Oh, it changed the name of the schema. Okay, well, let's see what happens. So npx Prisma generate. Sorry about the noise. Sorry, I need to find this code. It's the README. I know I put it there. npx Prisma generate. No. Prisma. Why don't I have the command in here? Generate migration. No. Have time to switch teams. Okay, Prisma migration command. Prisma migrate. Okay, how do I do it? Generate and apply. Okay. npx Prisma migrate. Okay, let's try just migrate, I guess. Oh, I guess it already ran the migrations. So, all right, let's see if this changed. Why isn't this working? Participants set member list map. Let's see what I did back there in the group service again. That is different. Here's the group service. Include external groups with a set command here. Set external group IDs map e return ID. That's exactly what I did. Let's try doing that here again and just changing it to participants. This would be participants member list dot map e. Set does not exist in type. External member create nested without a. All right, let's take a look at the schema again. See what's different. Include external groups. There's an array of external groups and groups. Group include within groups. That's it. So why is it making a mess now? This is participants. This is a list of external members, and inside the member model is here's the external member model. Or here it is called meetings. And it's the exact opposite. It's got the same relation name. So included in external groups, include external groups, external group. Okay. Participants, external member relation. This is so strange. All right, well, maybe I can't set the list on a meeting group that doesn't exist yet. So let me come back to that. And I'm going to try something else. Let me set the rest. What else is there in the group? Date. So I can take a date. Okay, I have to include a code. And what else do I have to include? It'll tell me. No. Okay, I think that would actually create a thing, but I also obviously want to include participants. Let me try connect. Prisma connect list. Okay, the relations. Okay, so I can connect and do a list of connections. So let's do member list.map MID return ID. Okay, cool. So that works. Now I still have an error here. It's going to tell me something is missing. Org ID date participants is not assignable to. Okay, I can do this org connect ID. And that was the wonder of Prisma, where it lets you just check that everything is good through strong typing. Now, let me go back to now. I'm also unit testing everything as I develop it. So my next goal is to test the create meeting function. I'm going to quickly commit everything and then say create meeting written. Now writing unit test. Writing unit test for create meeting. And let me look at the tests. So I'll close the other tabs. And meeting service test. Okay, so for on the other side. And so I've got a really clever like test runner that actually creates a database, empty database, and you just have to set up the entire database in each test. So I have these helper functions that helps me like initialize like an organization, helps me fill it up from Slack, helps me populate it with members and stuff from Slack. And then this actually will give me, a bunch of other things. Basically, the entire organization is created for me. Now, what I want to do is I want to create a meeting on this organization with 2 members. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a look at what's inside my org object. It should have a list of all the members. Let's take a look. So console.log org. And I have to run the tests in here. So npx jest source. Where are the tests? Where is this file? Source services test meeting service test. Services test. Source services. Let me get the path again. Services __ tests. Yeah, that's right. Name.service.test. So when I try to run this test, it's going to try to create a meeting. Should we change it to create a meeting? And let's see what it shows us. Is inside an org. It's been a while. I took a break for about 3 weeks since I worked on this, so today's my first day back. But it's going well, so. You running? What's happening here? Ah, okay. So I got some kind of error, which is a promising sign. Did it just time out? Creating this. Wait unit. Oh, the table external group does not exist in the current database. What's that? That's not good. This is strange. Let me try to run another test suite that I know works, and let me take it from there. So let's look at the external member test suite, since that's very similar to what we want to test now. I'm going to create a bunch of external members. So describe testing external member service, test member creation as a helper function, test creating member with undefined. Okay, this is a good example. So let me add the only tag to this one so that it doesn't run the whole test suite and run it. So npx test source services tests external member service test. Yes, try that. So it should actually run just the one test, creating a member with an undefined email address. Test member create, wait external member service, create external member, wait, get external member. Oh, I see. Okay, so that did work. So something is slightly wrong with my other test, but that's probably because I blindly copied it. So let's do something a little more sane, which is there's no need to do all of this. I believe this should just create the initial org. Go back to the other test. Init org using Slack callback, external member data, and then it creates the external member data by doing create external member data like that. Okay, so I can create two members by creating them like this and then putting them in a meeting together. So that's what I want to do. OB1. All right. So now I want to import the external member service. Don't need these other things right now. And that should create this member. Const member 1 is equal to await, and I can just do external member 1 data, and why don't I just, okay. Shit, hell. Yeah. Okay, and then I want to create external member 2 data. Let me give it a new ID. And use for my 617 124. Already, these are really weak member names. Let me create slightly better names. Not that it really matters, but handle, Slackbot, handle. Oh, these all okay. This is a good example. This is me, but obviously I should remove my real email from here. This is better. External member data, so I'm going to create two users like that. So let me put you in. That's me. And let me put in somebody else. Let's call you Ryan. Ryan. Someone else. And I'm going to create a second member. So I'm going to do that. That's number 2. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And now let me just take a quick look at member 1 and member 2, make sure they are the objects that I expect them to be. And assuming that they are, I will have 2 member IDs. And so I should have member IDs, const member IDs equal to an array member 1 dot ID member 2 dot ID. Yeah, so assuming I have all that information and the org ID, I should be able to create a meeting and with these members. So let's hope for the best. And separately, here I put an only tag on one of the tests. I should not do that. Cool. All right. So yeah, in this grueling fashion, I will be creating members, marking meetings as done, and then optimistically in the time provided, I will be able to supplant that endpoint to provide a list of meetings instead of, okay. Unique constraint failed on the fields, org ID, external ID. Okay, what is external ID? The external ID is the string that a member has to have, which I have provided. Oh, I forgot to change the, so yeah, this is how you know your tests are helping you. Both of these members have the same ID, so that's why the test failed, because you can't get 2 members, external members with the same ID. Now the test should pass. So Aditya and imaginary member Ryan. Although to prevent confusion, I'm going to change this to alias. He's my collaborator, and his name is represented here. But that shouldn't be material. Cool. Okay, I'm going to do what Chelsea does and stream some music. Hopefully it doesn't get our broadcast. I'm going to now put them into a meeting. So right, so I'm gonna, I don't know how Chelsea gets away with it, maybe because it's live at the time, I guess. Oh, cool. I'll think about doing that next time. Yeah, that makes sense. I really enjoyed her music, to be honest. So yeah, definitely think about doing that next time. Arranging music that won't get it muted. So now I have a list of member IDs. 2 members, and now I want to do the meeting service create. So const new meeting is equal to, have I imported the meeting service? Nope. Import meeting service dot slash meeting dot service. And now I want to do new meeting is meeting service dot create. Create meeting. Here's create meeting. And the org ID is 1. Date. Let's put today's date. How do I make? Well, let's see. Let's schedule the meeting for Monday. So const next Monday. How do I get next Monday in JavaScript? Friend Google. How do I get next Monday in JavaScript? Give me next Monday. Cheese. Okay, well, I guess that'll work. That's not working for all cases. No, that is going to work for all cases. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, that's right. Okay, even though it's really complicated to read, next Monday is equal to new date. Next Monday dot set. JavaScript date syntax is so weird. I should really use moment, but I don't know if it's included. And should verify it. Okay. So create meeting next Monday. What else does create meeting take? A member list, which is member ID. Sweet. And it should actually take the done argument too. But let's take a look at the new meeting. Yeah, I believe these guys exist. Oh, whatever, I can put them out. So there we go. All right, now we're in a better position. That should pass. I mean, not pass. There's nothing being tested yet, but it should create the new meeting and return it, along with the participants. In line. This one really is sweet. Okay, so this would be my new. Oh, I forgot to await. My bad. Let's try it again. Now it should print out exactly what I hoped it would. Right. So now here you can see this is the new meeting object with the participants produced in line. So now I can test this, right? So I want to, what are the things that I want to test? I want to check that the new meeting that I created has the same organization. So expect new meeting dot org ID to be 1. And I want to expect that the new meeting dot date to be the same as the date that I assigned it. Next Monday. Then I want to expect that the new meeting well, let me just make this occurred is false. And then I want to expect that the new meeting dot mem participants dot, well, let me just put this in a temporary variable here. So const participant ID is equal to new meeting dot participants map p return p.id. That should give you a list of participant IDs, and then what I'm going to do is for pods member of member IDs expect participant includes member. To be so this should check that all the members that I gave it are actually in the list of participants. And I should a comment, check that all members given to create are in the. Okay. I think I'm on the fence about whether to include occurred and done. Where's done? Oh, occurred is done. My bad. Okay. When you create a meeting, do you have to say whether it already occurred or not? No. So right now, when you create a meeting, it's never done, which is fine. Maybe later we can modify the thing. Let me remove all the console logs and see if my test just nicely passes, which it should. Then I can save my work here. And now I can go back to the other function that generates the meeting list, and I can save the meeting list. Uh-oh, expect new meeting dot. Oh, serializes to the same string. Okay, so to be next Monday dot to string. It's just a format thing. Let's see. Or did I get the wrong way? Expect received to be expected. Expected a string. Receive. Oh, this is the one that's not a string, I guess. That should definitely fix it. Import strings now, so let's see what happens. Although, why is that a date? Why isn't this a date? They're the same type. Why doesn't it show up as equal in the first place without date, whatever. All right, well, if we serialize them both, they match. So that's good enough for me right now. Okay, create member test. All right, now let's move on to the generation function and see what we can test about that. It's going to be slightly more tricky. So the coffee group service is here, and the function that's being called by the front end right now is called generate meetings for group. So generate meetings for group needs to take this meetings list, which is list of pairs of members, and create meeting objects for them that are all, for now, I guess we can set them all to what date. I'm just trying to figure that out. We can set all the meetings to be, I guess what would make more sense for each meeting to have a scheduled argument. And if it's not scheduled, then it doesn't, later on our system won't send any notifications about it to anyone. So I'm going to add this here, create meeting scheduled false. And I'm going to add a scheduled Boolean to the Prisma schema. On the meeting object, occurred Boolean. Do I put default anyway? No, I have default. Occurred Boolean default false. Deleted is also a good one. Meetings that don't need to be there anymore. Add that. And I can put schedule. It's not officially scheduled yet. So they've been generated, but not scheduled. Cool. And we can exclude deleted one, whatever, we don't implement that yet. So let's leave that out. I'm always guilty of expanding the scope because it seems like the right thing to do. But scheduled is a good one. So npx Prisma migrate, it is migrate. And create migration, which you can call update meeting schedule. And I should add it to my test too. Create meeting. I think when I create a meeting, it should be scheduled. I don't need to give it a date because it's not been assigned yet. And I can just make the date next Monday because by default, when you create a meeting, it will be automatically scheduled for next Monday, and it will officially have scheduled set to false. So it's just on the calendar as a free floating meeting on next Monday. And then I can take the same logic that I just wrote in my tests next Monday. Well, this is really such a grim way to do that. And I can just set that to be the date. Next Monday, date can be next Monday. And occurred false, scheduled false. All right, that sounds good. So whenever I create a new meeting, it's always in the future, but it's not officially been scheduled yet. And here, I don't need this anymore. Oh, I do because it should still match it. But I do not need to create. And I can bring it in here. By default, meetings are scheduled for the next Monday, but have the scheduled flag. And I can expect meeting scheduled to be false. And I can actually move this code down here. It should be. It's a little clearer what's going on. And now, yeah, let's run that real quick to make sure that it's working. Oh, command there. And that is scheduled flag meetings, make them default. Okay, now that we are done with that, let's go back to the group service, get meetings. All right, this is tricky. Oh, failed. What happened now? Off by a second. Okay. Not a big deal. Actually instructive somehow, I'm sure. New meeting.date. Let's check. How do I change JavaScript date? Yeah, let me just do that format. Wow. So let's do set date. Date doesn't have format. Oh, I have to make a JavaScript date formatter. I hate JavaScript. Print them. Please help me. JavaScript talks. I know I can do get full year and all that stuff, but that doesn't really help. Okay, is there any format function? Right, this is really making a strong case for moment right now. Let me see if I have moment. Nope, but I can add it. It's no problem. Seems like it's required. npm I, wait, what's it? pwd inside BCB app. npm I moment turns on --save. Yeah, the moment you can just do that moment.format and print the date like that, which is obviously what I want to do. It even has these standard formats, which are pretty useful. Okay, let's try it. Import moment from moment and zone. Okay, now it's from. Okay, no problem. And let's do the dates. Format. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, and to be format. Cool. That just works. What more modern alternatives? Oh, recommendations, huh? So the no library is not for me. Although, let's see if I just don't understand date.parse that well. No, do. Doesn't give me a formatted string. You still need a date formatter for that. I'm not doing that. Okay, this worked. All right, so good. Install moment time zone and use that to convert it. There it is. Back to the original challenge, which was how do we replace the call in group service to generate meetings for group. All right. So group, I want to have a bunch of meetings. So let's see if the schema can accommodate that. The coffee group is here. Why does my group not have meetings? So this is an error clearly that I have made, which is that my meeting is not associated with a coffee group. So that was a good mistake that I found. And let me fix that real quick. So every meeting in our system has to be associated with a coffee group, obviously. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. So group relation meeting group meetings is group ID. This is ID, and this will be a group ID. And now we gotta go back up to the group, and hopefully it added it already. It tried to. So we call the meetings. Yeah, it's pretty savvy. It generally gets the right idea. Or close. And so yes, okay, now I can get all the meetings for my group through this association, which of course is a good one. And let me migrate the schema and update the test. Group meetings. Now, of course, we have the small problem of me having to create a coffee group inside my test, which is not bad. I was actually wondering how that's done anyway. How do I create a coffee group? Well, I guess I can go to the group service test and see how we did it there. Group service test. How to create a group? Create coffee group. So let's see what that does. Oh, cool. So this will get everything from, it will create a group called the test coffee group. And I can actually export this function and import it from there, or I can just copy it. What should I do? What should I do? Get org with ID, external groups, and external members. Get org ID, return group. Okay. Let me export this function, I think. And my meeting service test, I can import, create coffee group from, okay, now from there, from /group.service.test. So it's called create coffee group, yes. And then I can just await it. And I can await create coffee group. That, and then I don't need this anymore, since that should call that. And now that I've created the coffee group, how do I get the result of it? Wait, create coffee group, const group org equal to like this. I need equal to a create coffee group. And I can supplant this with forget.id, Nick, forget.id, and question mark, right? Question mark, question mark. And then I can TypeScript for screaming at me. Again, now I can have the group ID, which I will now need to pass to create meeting. So we have to create group ID, oops, as number. And so it should be org question mark ID as, right. What do you think cast correctly? And now let's change the meeting service, and we would have to create a group ID here. Group ID, and the group connect ID, group ID. Sweet. Prisma makes coding easy and sensible. Now let's try running our test. And I guess there should be a little more to this test. Yes, but should check that the new meeting group is the same as the org ID to be org ID, and expect meeting group ID to be question mark. All right, that should be that. I'm going to take a 2-minute break on this test runs. I'll be right back. Oh, it's still running? That's not good. Why is it taking so long? I did add a bunch more logic, so could be part of it. But at the same time, it shouldn't take this long. I could copy this logic over instead of, it's just that, I guess. Oh, I do like all this. Let's see. But I can't have a test that's this slow. That's okay. Well, none of this other stuff is needed, so I can just copy this logic. And let's do that. Just speaking forever. So let me just simplify again. No more exporting. CPU. Source test. Let's restore this logic. Back. Group service from /groups. Group this. And then whatever these numbers there, new variable. That's it. That should be it. Come on. Yeah, okay, cool. So that test passed. So now I can't even remember exactly what I had changed. Guess this will give me a clue. Where to do? Oh yeah, added coffee. Object. Yes, station commit. I would like to push to. Okay, so now we did that. Let's go back to the other more tricky task, which is to generate the meetings. So group service get generate meetings for group. We have a test for that. Generate meetings for group. We do. Implement generate external member proposed meeting schedule depending on meeting size. Okay, cool. So this generates the meetings for the group. Specs, okay, creates a list of meetings, member lists. All right, and now I would like to, let me think. This is part of the program that for now is still confusing me a bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create those meetings from this list here and make sure they all exist. And then I'm just going to meet with my collaborator because I think we need to draw these next screens and the exact buttons to minimize the amount of work. And I think that's also a good stopping point since between 9:15 and 9:30, I'd like to stop working on this today. So this will give me a list of the meetings. Let me do test start only. Right. And let me see what I got here. Test. Got source tests and test meetings. Test. This should give me an array of arrays. Yeah, okay, adds the members. Okay, this could take a while. Wait, huh? What's your problem? You have some main problem. This worked before. It's a similar problem to what was present in the other one, which is it hung inside this. So I think there's a bug here. So let's do log hello. Hello. I'm pretty sure it's happening inside this refresh function, but let's see. Just suspicions. It's like hanging inside the refresh function because something about it has changed. Go to the refresh function and take a look. Let's do that. Refresh. Okay. Okay, it's a refresh. That's the org. And then call the refresh org from Slack. Refresh org from Slack calls Slack service get VCP members from. Oh, what? It worked now? Great. Mysteries of the freaking universe. All right. Well, that really was a mystery. I hate when things do things like that. This is my list of member pairs, and what I want to do now is I want to create them, but I want to make sure that two people are scheduled in the same appointment. But I think I can do that in a second step. I guess for the first step, I'm just going to go ahead and create the meeting objects and return a list of meeting objects instead of a list of members like this in pairs. So I'm going to transform this list into two meetings. That's what I want. So first, let me just undo these console.logs and see if it works again. Should. And now let me create them here, and then I'll figure out how to do it later. So for we don't need this done thing anymore. I didn't know how to do testing when I started this project, so all right. Now what I'm going to do is create meeting objects for each pair. No order the input ready. So for const meeting pair. Again, it didn't work. This is crazy. Let's do it again, and what now it's going to work again. Ridiculous. Next, list. Const member IDs equal to meeting member list. That is incredible. So I just go back here and add a console.log, it's going to work. Is that what you're telling me again? Which one at a time? Is that what's happening? Something else is happening. It's weird. All right. Well, now actually I have typos. Just doing that map. M and then BCV members from Slack. These groups from Slack. Meeting member list is of type unknown. Okay, that's not good either. So let's go back and type these things. For now, code definition, group ID, shuffle, has array, array. Cool. And now, when I do that group service test, it should know the type. Perfect. Buddy, I'm going to require the meeting service and get on with this. So import meeting service from meeting service first, and it'll be import meeting service from service. Error after test service was torn down. Okay. Hit test context. Where is it being called? Save database after false. If I change this to true, I don't think the error will occur because there is no code definition before each await. Really don't understand why it works sometimes, but it doesn't work other times. And it always does that when I use these functions. Try it again. Yeah, something is very wrong with the program behavior that I need to figure out what is wrong with it on a deeper level. It's like sometimes the test pass, sometimes they just get stuck. It can't be making any external calls. So, yeah, I don't know. It's really undefined. Code error after test environment was torn down. Why would it do that? Huh. Okay, well, first of all, the test is freaking working. Now I'm giving a timeout because it did actually work. There's my thing. So if I put these console.logs in, it works. So it's something to do with the wrapping of this logic inside a function outside of the test. Maybe this is going to help. We put this inside the describe block. Yeah, that could definitely help. Ridiculous though that may seem, and no, actually that should help now that I think about it. Let's see. And the timeout issue is fine. It's complicated. but it should work. Right now, for each of these, I want to just create the meeting and then print out the list of meetings. Failed? No. It does exist. I know it exists because we did. It worked the other time. Let's also switch the create test context thing. And okay, now it's failing every time. So that's different behavior. No, it's failing period timeout. Let's do yes timeout thing. Yeah. Everybody's seen this error. Okay, we can add this timeout. Or I can just add it at the end. Okay. Default is 5,000. Let's make it like. Oh, where have we made? Okay. Create. Comma. 90 seconds. No, let's make it 180 seconds. 3 minutes, 3 whole minutes. Oh, I see. After the timeout, it's tearing down the model and it's trying to do more test logic. Hopefully, what I just did will fix it. It'll just take like 40 seconds or 50 seconds to run. It's not ideal, but at least it works. Most people do not do unit testing by creating, yeah, okay, that was it. They do not do unit testing by creating an entire database each time. In my case, this was the first project I really did unit testing from scratch, and I'm using Prisma for the first time, and Prisma is actually really hard to test without actually using the database. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but then I found this tutorial that was really useful, and I really like it because when I'm done, everything works perfectly. But at the same time, it is kind of slow. Like the tests necessarily take like 15 seconds each because they create an entire database, spin it up, import everything, and with every single test. So yeah, no regrets in this case, but maybe I need to look into how to test Prisma stuff without, actually having to create the underlying database. But I'm still very pleased with what I did, and I can add this argument save database after, which I guess I'm going to show you now because it's fun. I can make this true, and then I can actually it creates a test database, and after each test you can see the actual database. I'm not going to show you now. Let me remove this silly console.log since they didn't have anything to do with anything. It was just a time thing. Let me try quickly create these meetings in the time we have left, even though it's not the ideal place to do it. Create meetings.push, await meeting service .create meetings. Org ID, org.id, group.id, and member IDs. And then at the end, I wanted to also log for the meetings. You're going to say Oreos box me undefined. Okay. Okay, friends. All right, and right there, I think after I'm going to stop for the day because I'm going to meet up with my collaborator. I'm probably going to plan the endpoints for the remaining 2 pages before I come back to do some more on this next week. Cool. And are these my meeting objects? Yes. So these are my meetings. 3 meetings right there. And yeah, that's what I'm going to show him and discuss with him. Cool. So Pyconaut, if you're still here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now since even though it's a little early, I'm done for this session. I don't know where you're at. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and maybe start my camera. Hey, you there? Maybe you have gone away from your computer. Let me message you. I can text you on your phone. Or I can continue working in the assigned time, which is also a good option. And let me see if I can think about a logical way to do this UX. So, okay, so I've got a big photo. I'm able to create meeting objects and return those instead of returning pairs and members. So the return will look like this. Get meetings. What is it called? The controller. Yes. The controller where the routes are in app.ts. Yeah, that's a here. So it's in get me. Oh. Generate meetings, meeting size. So the result of meeting size will be something like oh, sweet, a new screen. Yeah. It's just tested, yes. You know what, let me change this to JSON string license cleaner. Neato. I really want to look into this. Okay, I'm really done for today. Cool. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And thanks everyone for attending. If you have any questions, you can reach me in the Noisebridge Slack. I'm Ninja A. And if you find my project interesting and maybe want to help out, or maybe you want to use it in your own workspace, that's totally cool by me. Hit me up. We'll be ready for demos probably in another month, maybe. Like private beta, I mean. And then, hopefully someday soon we'll launch a product hunt. And
That's really cool. It was fun to watch some of that. Had to step
Oh yeah,
away for a minute, but
no worries.
that's really cool. And I think that's a very useful bot. Um, when it's done, definitely let Noisebridge know so we can maybe integrate it into our Slack.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I think for the Noisebridge one, we're gonna have to have all these opt-in features and stuff. But
yeah,
I'm sure you're a member of like another Slack where there's only like 10 members and it's just like a group where people like maybe within a guild or something, at Noisebridge where
yeah,
everybody can say we've opted in because you can create smaller groups as you saw of like just targeted ones.
yeah,
So yeah, so you think yeah, I definitely love to do that. I think I'm still about a month away. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to estimate because I don't get so much time to work on this. But yeah, I finally saw somebody who did one of those remote cameras that follows you and stuff.
Oh,
I saw the first commercial product that actually does what I had imagined, but that project was too big for me and too out of my domain.
oh,
So
a drone style camera or
yeah,
a yeah,
like basically just a robot to help you use your phone as a remote camera
yeah,
efficiently. So like a simplified drone. So I finally saw the first commercialized product that does that well. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And it was fun to work on too. But yeah, this project's smaller and definitely will get released. So that's important too.
yeah. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, over time, I do think phone based, like, because now it is a lot easier to use a phone as a webcam by
Hmm.
using an IP webcam. Um, so, but then controlling the robot, like, that's where, like, the stuff you were working on is really cool. It just, I think the form factor and stuff, um, definitely need a bit more work. Um, but telepresence is still in its very early stages. I mean, looking around even the Bay Area's like high end tech scene, there are very few telepresence robots at any convention centers, and if there are, they aren't very good. So it's like there's a lot of these industries that definitely don't need to be rushed. Taking your time on development is better because you can think of more of the issues. That's why all of my VR hardware stuff I've been working on probably won't be released till 2025 because I'm like, right now, there is no need for the type of device I want to build, and if I built it right now, it would be way too expensive. Um, Telepresence, I think, is a bit closer, but is also still pretty expensive because of the robotic aspect of the system. Um, Especially because robots can't currently easily travel everywhere a person can, or most robots can't. Um, like the idea of a door is legitimately the end all be all of a doors and stairs. Those are like the eternal issues current telepresence has. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
and falling off tables or falling down. Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, have you thought at all about after you make this Slack bot, maybe trying to get it to work in as a Discord bot as well?
Yes. I've already spec'd out Microsoft Teams, even though I don't really actively use it. I haven't looked at the Discord API. Personally, I would find it really cool if I could get it to work inside a Facebook group. Because like there's a lot of Facebook groups where I share like articles where I even know and have collaborated with some of the members and brought them to Noisebridge and stuff. But there's so many more members that if I was just randomly introduced to a few of them by a bot, I would really make some cool connections, you know? So that was what I was thinking. But yeah, I'm open to the algorithm, like the bot being open to other, like anything where there's a group of people who meet online in a list, really. And Discord definitely as well. I just haven't had the chance to look at the API yet.
Yeah, I've had a couple friends who've made Discord bots, and I think I've heard it's a bit easier than Slack, but also that I if you have built a Slack bot, that there is a lot of code you can just straight up reuse. Um,
Yeah. And right now, I know that I want to use it in a couple of Slack groups. So even if I just launch it as a Slack bot, we'll open source it and just see what other people want to do. So for now, I'm just trying to get over the finish line there. Like I
yeah,
said, we'll
have you set up a like Patreon or donation page for it?
but our public page, we're just going to launch the whole thing when we're done in like a month and see how to do all that. But
Yeah.
it's worth considering. My collaborator is doing the front end, so I'll talk to him about it again. I hadn't reached out to him in a couple of weeks because I hadn't worked on it, but now I did. So if I have like 3 sessions like the one I had today, then I'll be ready to pop up like information about it online, ad coming soon and stuff.
Yeah, because I know with a lot of the Discord bots and stuff, they have Patreon pages to help the developers keep support of the bot working and also develop more bots.
Yeah.
Um,
No, definitely I'll look into getting a Patreon. And we own the domain virtualcoffeebot.com, but we just haven't agreed on a. I mean, yeah, I built this in Docker, so it'll be the first time I'm actually deploying something Dockerized to the cloud myself. Like I do that at work, but I don't run any of that. So I'll be exploring like DigitalOcean's Docker and Google Cloud's Docker offerings for the first time. So it's my first serverless deploy. So I guess I kind of have to finish doing that before I can throw anything up on the homepage, because the homepage will be the same for the app and for like connect to our Patreon.
yeah,
So I'm not gonna do that dev session until after 2 more features, and at that time I'll set up the Patreon. But that's what's holding me back. It's nothing. It's just a question of time, really. I'm like 8 or 12, like 10 or 12 development hours away from getting there, basically. But I definitely like to do this again, maybe
yeah,
next week. Yeah, and
yeah,
just keep going, you know?
yeah. After I figured out the issues I was having,
Mm-hmm.
um, which are they're annoying issues, but there's not really any easy way around them. Um, right now till I get a better computer.
Okay.
Um, but it did look like the YouTube stream, and there seems to be a problem with the Twitch stream. I'll have to look at the connection log. Like it
Okay.
was streaming to Twitch, but some of the time it was a black screen for no reason, even
Okay. I
though
definitely
it's
like it'll keep the recording on those platforms, right?
not on Twitch. Twitch
Okay.
disappears after a week.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
but I
That's
also keep recordings of
No, no,
everything.
I just want to see what the product looks like. And, we just decided to do this yesterday, but I'm happy to do it next week again at the same time. So in that case, I'm happy to make the invite like tomorrow maybe and actually share it with a bunch of people.
Yeah, yeah, that could be
Yeah.
good. I might email. There's a way to get our links registered by Meetup so that our video links work. So,
Nice.
um, I'll probably do that. Um, but yeah, is there anything else, or should I end the recording?
I think you should definitely end today's recording. And we'll be back next week, I guess, if anybody watches this. So look on the Noisebridge meetup for more information.
Yep. Thank you, everyone who watched, and thank you, Aditya, for this wonderful first Coac night.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah. Okay.